Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Upwardly Paved Path. I know it's been a while, but I got some much needed rest for some momentum, and I'm back with something that I think is very important. And I have a special guest with me today. You saw her on the channel last year, and if you just want to pull up a seat, have a sip of coffee or a sip of tea, and grab some good things from this conversation, I invite you to hang out with us today. And today I have my girl here, Denise Renee, who is an author, an editor, and a book writing coach. And we're going to talk about expertise and authority, because as you know, that has been questioned on these internet streets. But we are going to talk about this for a perspective of what does this mean for you? Are you an expert in something? Do you have bankable authority? So, my sister girlfriend Denise, hello and welcome back.
Hey, friend. Hey.
Hey, friend. Hey,
How you
girl, I love our
doing?
Kiki sessions, but they're Kiki sessions with nuggets
Yes. They're
that we
Kiki with a
can
purpose.
Kiki with a purpose.
Hmm.
Yes, that people can extract from and take things from. So, I am so excited to have you back here, girl.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, because we've been percolating on things. We talk about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, other people need to hear this.
Okay.
Yes. So this is kind of our part two in what we're doing today. But we are talking about authority. We're talking about women of color who recently have gone viral for the things that they've talked about, and how does that affect us? How does that affect how we move about? So I want to talk about expertise because, as you know, okay, that has been in question. We got our good sis Cheyenne Bryant. I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel comfortable calling her doctor at this point.
Because
This is
I
an
don't and I will
expert.
not.
That part. How important is expertise? We're not denying we have seen this woman give insight and advice to people. Okay, people can take from it what they will, but a lot of people call themselves experts because they've been through something. That's great. I think there is some insight that you can provide, but does that mean expertise? So let me start with you because you do have an expertise. What do you think expert status is, and what does that actually mean in practice?
So I think that um, expert status is really when you have deep knowledge on one particular subject, or it could be like a niche within a niche, an industry within an industry, um, a specific set of skills, a specific set of experiences, so that you are able to help people with that particular, problem set that they may have. And you're able to say, oh, okay, you can see their issue, diagnose it quickly. I'm not saying that you're a doctor, no pun intended, but diagnose the issue, fairly quickly, and be able to provide actionable steps or actionable solutions, or get in there with them and help them and say, oh, well, do this, do that, do this, do that, and then the person is now able to come out on the other side with a result that they are happy with, that they are thrilled with. And it could be whether you help people with things in their personal life, like weight loss, diet, health concerns, hair, makeup, or you're helping them with a business problem, how to make money in their business, how to grow their social media following, how to write a book or sell a book, or things like that, or how to get your next job. So whatever it is that you're able to help people do, whatever transformation you are able to help
Mm.
facilitate, if you've had enough experience in that, doing it for yourself and doing it for others, you could be considered an expert in that. Or if you have studied in that field very deeply, done a lot more reading and research than most, the casual observer of that industry, you could be considered an expert. So expertise can be pretty, it can be broad, but it's also very narrow and deep.
Hmm.
And I think it is, the sad thing is that we're just in a day and age and space where people want to fast track to expert status, or being seen as an authority, because it's going to give you cool kid points, right? And it's also going to give you opportunities for, money, and for, whatever brand expanding opportunities you're looking for. It's going to give you social clout, whatever, what have you. All right. You want to be seen as on the top of the mountain of whatever, in circles you're in. But people want to get there the fast route. And I think that is very disingenuous. You're trying to, sell something to people when you don't really have the facts to back it up. You don't really have the experience to back it up. You don't really have the authority to back it up. You may not even have the correct knowledge to back it up. So that can become very harmful in the case of our good sis, not Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, where I think, like, and I did a video of this on my channel, where I was like, she could use writing books as a way to build her authority without having to lie about her credentials. But she, in all of the public sessions, I'm like, I thought those were interviews, but those were your sessions.
Hello? Oh, they sessions
okay.
now. Oh, okay.
The reframing of it all. But even in those quote unquote sessions, the way that she communicates and the things that she said, if you have half a brain, you'd be like, My favorite interview clip that went viral is the one with her and Jamal Bryant last year on his podcast, which now he's like denouncing her. And I'm like, child, you weeks too late. Like, forget it.
Right.
What I appreciated, right, was that back then, and I saw it live back then. And when I was watching it, I was just like, she's just talking out of the side of her neck. So I just never paid this woman no mind, right? But people eat it up. But he in that interview at that time, he was checking her, he was giving her opportunity to be like, whoa, I think you're going down the wrong road. And he was trying to redirect it. Homegirl double down, quadruple down. I'm like, any thinking person knows you're not, as a woman, not as attractive woman. Well, even if you're not an attractive woman, because we know men sometimes they don't need you to be attractive for them to do what they got to do, right?
Yep.
But you're gonna tell me you're gonna be attractive, whatever, and you're gonna tempt your person to come take a shower with you, but not touch you?
Bath.
Are you crazy?
Yes, she is.
Are you crazy
for that? And in the psychology space,
are you crazy?
Know this already? Yes,
my 12-year-old, he's not 12. I'm sorry, Jesus, he's 14. I'm about to be 15. My 14, almost 15-year-old son knows better than that. That is stupid,
ma'am.
But if you're gonna follow her advice, okay, then you could do whatever you want.
I don't know.
But even in that interview, he was like, no, they don't have the discipline. No, they don't. He was trying to rein her in, but she was like, nah, fam, I'm gonna double triple that. I'm like, you know what? I think what she is great at, the psychology that she is great at. She is great at the psychology of creating viral moments. She knows what to do and what to say that is going to be clickable, memeable, and it's going to go viral, right? So she has mastered that. Yes, absolutely.
She has marketing.
I give her that.
Okay. Yeah. Good job for your marketing. Your marketing was great.
Yes.
But you're right. The tap dancing on the edge of things is, I'd appreciate if she'd say my opinion, my experience, and not try to push this out as a rhetoric that everyone should
actually follow
or do. Or yeah, she lost me with that. I didn't even see that clip until this all came out, and I said, "Oh, okay. Well, this is not working in your favor. This is not going to help you." But what's funny is, this all started because she was promoting a book, and I thought the title of the book, it seemed like it could be helpful, but now it's in her expertise is in question. Public relations is, I don't know if she don't have a PR person. I don't know. Something is missing in that. But
I think if she does, she ain't listening to them.
Or it could be, because this is a PR nightmare. But and that people have gone and given bad ratings on purpose to this book on Amazon. I don't agree with that unless you read it and you were
Right.
saying it is actually bad.
Mhm.
But yeah, and the publisher giving refunds. This is going to be very difficult to come back from. But you're right. I wish she had come out with a book or taken a stance or having spoke about her expertise in a different way that wasn't wearing Dr. Cheyenne Bryant as a chain on your neck, ma'am. I didn't even notice that until, again, everything came out and people are eating her up. And I said, is she
What
wearing
doctor? What legitimate doctor wears doc on their chain?
I know
If
several.
anything, they'll wear a lab coat that has their name on it.
Oh, that's right, a lab coat. Okay.
They'll
I
do
know
that.
several, and none of them do that at all. So the flashiness, it just didn't work for her. But you're right. The book would have helped. She put the cart before the horse. Doesn't she have another book out? She might.
Yes, this is actually I think her second book because she did have
Right.
one from before. But the thing is that you no matter where you are, okay, here as far as her credentials go, my opinion is that I think they've been able to prove that she does have a bachelor's degree. I think that she started these different programs. She started a master's program. I don't think she finished the master's program because she
That what she
wasn't professional.
did.
Oh, she
So
didn't finish the master's?
last week, you know how you get the booklet at the commencement that has names in it. Her name was in there for a master's, and I think it was marriage and family therapy.
Okay, well, good for her because I didn't see that, but all right.
Yep. So,
I'll put a check in your box for that.
but she said
But
she has
the
6
doctorate,
degrees. That's only 2.
ma'am, and she said, and I think the doctorate program, she goes, oh, even in the Breakfast Club interview, I'm like, girl, you are telling on yourself. She said, oh, all of my classes were in the portal, everything up to the dissertation. Why the dissertation ain't there? If you did it, it'd be in there.
Right. And why didn't you
She
just
ain't
tell us what the
finished.
dissertation was on?
She ain't finished. Okay.
Mm.
She started but didn't finish. And I think, in my opinion, because somebody, there's a couple of people who came out and I saw this video of this one woman who was in the same program with her. And she said, I used to be in class with her and
Yep.
she was wanting to call herself doctor before they had even finished and she had trademarked or whatever. So to me, it just looks like the trajectory of a person who was, trying to get somewhere, trying to do something. And trying to get into rooms, trying to get into media and whatever, And she did, I wound up watching, and I stopped watching Basketball Wives years ago, but I did, VH1 had a clip of the brunch that she did from, I guess
Right.
she was on the last season of there. So I did watch that and I was like, oh, I see how quickly that went left because that's her attitude and her spirit. I mean, that whole Torre thing, I mean, how quickly she went left. And I'm like, I wouldn't want my doctor acting like that. Like, are you not even able to regulate your own emotions? Like, isn't this what this is supposed to be about? Isn't this what you teach people to do?
Low EQ. Absolutely. She struggles with self-regulation to the utmost. And I mean, she didn't just hit below the belt, like she went to hell on that interview. I'm like, what? It didn't
That
have to
was
go
so
this way.
uncalled for.
It was uncalled for.
And
It was embarrassing.
and isn't this not the type of person that you say you want that man who is able to be emotionally, tuned in with you and who can listen to you and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is the type of person you say or you counsel people to be. Like, this is the kind of person you are hoping would stand in the shower and just look at you naked and not
That's
touch you.
right.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. If
Sorry,
I'm
not
getting in the
sorry.
shower with a man who does not touch me, I'm asking one question.
Fair. More than fair.
I'm asking one question. Do you not
That's
like
it.
women?
That
Because then it's
absolutely.
okay. Just be honest with me. But
Just
I'm
be
like,
honest.
but if we've gone through all of the things and we've gotten to a shower, ma'am, we know what's coming next. And if you don't want that to come next, you don't do all of the things that lead up to it. It's that simple. He's
His
not
good
in your house. You're not in his house. You have said good night at dinner. Good
That's
night.
right.
Kiss on the cheek. We'll see you tomorrow.
You shut the door behind you. You shut the door. Yeah.
So yeah,
She has
she's a mess.
right. I think because she lacks
She's a mess.
self-regulation, she lacks self-awareness. I don't think she realized that all of these seeds and these breadcrumbs from these interviews actually undermined her expertise.
And I think that the person who with all of this exposure now, and now it comes up to the audience. With all of this, do you want a windmill? You want a windmill for her, and support her with your attention, with I don't know what she has going on, if she has like a private group or something, I don't know. Do you want to support her with your attention? Do you want to support her with your money? Or or are you just like, okay, you are not for me, and I'm gonna put my attention elsewhere? Now it's up to the public, and there are people who are going to support her, and I'm quite sure she's gonna figure out some way to pivot this and respin this and whatever. Da, da, da. And I think that, like, with all of that energy, girl, you could have just put that energy into writing your dissertation. You could have put that energy into finishing all of the 6 degrees that you have. All right. Even in her Marissa Mitchell interview, she was like, oh, well, my degrees, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. My credentials is in my degrees. And I'm like, girl, you haven't even proven the degrees.
Don't forget doctoral.
Doctoral. It's not a
Doctoral.
doctoral degree, ma'am. It's a doctorate degree, and you are a doctoral student. But anyway, she's been beat up enough. Like,
She is, and it's like, I don't want to beat up on her, but we have to talk about your expertise and what that means for your authority. And in this case, she did have authority, but it was based on shaky, credentialed expertise.
I don't know if she had authority. If anything, she had attention.
Fair.
She had attention that, and she grew this attention. She grew this brand around presumed authority. Okay, because when you continuously platform someone, she's on this podcast, that podcast, and with big name people, right, in the Black space. Cam Newton, like, I first noticed her, whatever, when it was the Cam Newton. It was the she was on twice with, what's his name, Nick Cannon. Yeah. Right, and she got attention because we already have a perception of who these men are. We do not think that they are her, whatever. So she was like the one woman and the one voice, and a female voice at that really, told them about themselves, right? And so she went viral for that. And in those moments, and the things that she had to say in those moments, definitely. But there were other things, like if you watch the whole interviews, there were other things that she would say that would be like, and then the more that she, went on more podcasts and whatever, and got to the Jamal Bryants of it all. And I've seen her on panels and things like that. I've seen those clips come up, and I'm just like, if you have half a brain and you start thinking and you start listening to what she's really saying, you're like, yeah, this doesn't really sit well with me. You are not for me. But when it comes to, but when it comes to like establishing your authority, like I said, it's really comes down to what is your, what do you have deep knowledge about? And what do you have deep experience in? And what is the transformation that you can provide for someone? What can you help them over? How can you be their, bridge over troubled waters, whatever, that bridge may be? The thing is that you can actually build expertise or build, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but build a perception of expertise by writing books. And of course, I'm going to be biased to that because that's what I do, right? But the thing is that you can write a book based on where you are right now and be helpful to the person who's, a couple steps behind you, who have not accomplished what you have accomplished, who does not know what you know. You can also build expertise off of being in proximity to other experts in the field by interviewing them, or by becoming a deep student, right, and reading the literature in whatever area that you're honing in on, and creating like a reading of the literature where it says basically, hey, this is what this is what the consensus is. This is where people diverge. These are the holes. These are the things that are not being said just yet or not being addressed. And just by doing even that, even by being a deep researcher, you are considered an expert. It's literally what doctoral students do. They do research on a specific topic and
Yes.
subject, and they become a doctor of, whatever it is for whatever it is they do. So whether you're a doctor in education, doctor in philosophy, a doctor in religious studies or something like that,
Right.
religious education, outside of the medical doctors, those are what those doctoral students do. What she ain't do? My girl,
Which
why
she
you
then
ain't
did.
finished?
That's why she said, I'm just gonna trademark this and go on about my way. And it's like, that's a choice.
That's a
That
choice. But, the other choice is to be ethical, right? So you can literally
right,
be ethical in how you build your authority. And the thing is that you can, what the type of book that you would write, let's say you're, 21, just coming out of college, you could write a book about your experiences getting the degree that you got, right? So now that you're on the other side, you could document, well, what did it take for you to get this law degree? What did it take for you to get this BA in business administration?
right,
Now let's see, you're in your law school degree. Now you're getting your what is it, the JD? Just
right.
yeah, the JD. So you can say, hey, this is what it's like to be, a first year law student. This is what it's like to be a second year law student. This is what it's like to be,
Right.
to, get that internship. So you're not trying to pretend like you are a practicing lawyer, for the last 10 years. You're just trying to help those kids in high school who are dreaming of coming to law school. All
That's
right.
right.
And now let's say you've landed your first gig, your first job. All right, my first year out of law school, at a big firm, whatever. You got those kids still in, or young adults still in law school who are trying to figure out, well, how do I land, my first big job at this corporation? How do I negotiate myself? You have expertise that you can share with them. It is not the expertise that the lawyer of 20 years who has, been in private practice now
Right.
or XYZ, it's not the same book that they can write. And it's okay. When you get there, you can write that type of a book. So you can always write any type of book that is expertise for someone else who has not accomplished what you've accomplished. And I did lay that out. I'll give you a link to the video that I posted, and
Thank you.
it has her picture on it, because I did talk about it from the standpoint of,
Yes,
she didn't have to do this, and I literally lay out in that video how you can, what is the strategy for writing the types of book that you can write no matter where you are. And just the
yeah,
fact of writing and publishing a book is seen as an authority builder. People assume you are an authority, and you don't have to walk around with a chain on your neck saying, I'm a doctor. No, people will assume that of you just because you wrote a book.
that's right. Okay. Thank you for that. Because I used to think, and to be seen as an expert, you have to be way up here at the top rung of the thing. But it's helpful to know, like, just think of who's behind you. Then
Mm-hmm.
you always have content to be able to
That's
write a
right.
book.
That's right.
So my next
Or just
question
being
is,
an expert in general.
and right, exactly, being an expert in general, you're right. So there's this idea that if we just package ourselves well enough, that the right doors will open. But as you know, for Black women, whether we're in corporate or we are in an entrepreneurial space, it seems we're evaluated a bit differently
Mm.
just by opening our mouths. How can we navigate this so that it enhances our authority and expertise instead of diminishes it?
I'm tired.
Right.
I'm tired.
I understand. After asking, I was like, ooh, I'm tired too. But
I'm
yeah,
tired. But
yeah,
child, listen, this is the reality. If you ever watched the show Scandal, you already know our good sis Olivia Pope, all right, via our good sis Shonda Rhimes, told us in that famous scene right? Papa Pope was leaning down on her and he was like, "You have to do what? You have to be what?" She goes, "Twice as good to get what? Half as much." All right. We are in a system that says, that expects us to be twice as good, three times as good, quadruple times as good, to get half as much as everybody else gets, just for waking up. I woke up like this. All right. Messy hair, messy bun. I mean, why is it that everybody else can have a messy bun, but my girl, is it Coco Golf? Coco
Yeah,
Golf got a messy Afro bun and she got crucified to the cross. I'm like,
right,
are y'all serious about her hair? Her
right.
hair. Really? What? So, anywho,
No, that was Simone Biles, I think.
huh?
Was it some? I think it was Simone Biles back in the day.
No, 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 no,
For the
no.
Olympics.
This is a few weeks ago.
Oh,
She did a
okay.
campaign.
Two
Coco
different
Golf
things.
did a campaign. Oh, for Mew Mew. Coco Golf did a campaign for Mew Mew, and she had her hair. It was like, a little bit afro, a little fuzzy. It was just a little
Yeah.
messy bun in the back, and she was just going about her day, doing her thing. And she was just like, and like the woman had to come out and give an entire press conference about her hair.
I didn't know I had gotten that deep. Okay, so pattern though, because I'm,
So
I'm thinking of Simone Biles when her little
yes,
messy bun, and they
yes,
crucify her as
yes,
well.
yes,
Mm,
yes,
okay.
yes. All right, and so, needless to say, my point is that while I'm tired, before I even start answering the question, I'm tired. Because the thing is that we have to be twice as good to get half as much. It's like we have to be perfect, right? Without, and there will never be satisfying any and everybody. But
No.
the best that Black women can do is do what we always do. All right. We overachieve, we outperform. All right. We get all of the degrees that we can get legally, right? With the ability to prove our degrees. Okay. Minus homegirl over there. All right. Get the degrees, get the certifications, do the extra hours, do all of it, put on your superhero cape and do it all. Right. Or do none of it. Right. You don't have to. But if you're looking to climb in corporate, and or if you are growing a business, and if it's a certain type of business that where people are looking at credentials, they're looking at what have you done for me lately. Do all of the things and then some, right? Because you have to prove and overprove yourself before you're
Yeah.
even able, people will give you something. But I think also the other thing is, what I think Black women don't always take advantage of is networking, and not networking like, here's my business card, whatever, but really developing deep relationships wherever you are. Because relationships are usually the differentiator for Black women in particular, for women in general, and business overall. Who you know, who's able to open the door for you, who's able to get you a meeting, who's able to say, "Hey, put your resume in. I'm going to tell so and so that your resume is coming through." That has helped me, right? That has
Absolutely.
that has been a differentiator for me. So I would say, do all the black flips. All right, become Simone Biles, become the GOAT in your industry and what it is that you do, right? So that you can be undeniable, and work your network as best as you can.
Both and both and. I was gonna add to that as well in terms of ex- expertise and how do we navigate this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also important that we know our audience.
Mm.
Who is your audience and the direction that you're trying to go in? And
Mm-hmm.
you have to meet them there. Your expertise is your expertise. I'm DISC certified, so I work a lot with organizations, with people in DISC. And when you said that, the first thing that came to me was you have some people, we call them high C, high compliance folks. These are your numbers people. These are the folks that dot the I's and cross the T's. They are going to care more about certification. For other folks, it's a nice to have, but they care about the transformation that you were talking about beforehand. Can you help me to get from point A to point B? Who is your audience? So it's important that you know that. Yes, know that for
Mhm.
yourself and how you show up, but what is the behavioral profile of the people you're going after? Then
Mhm.
you can address things in that lane instead of having to continue to morph. I think we do that a lot
Mm.
to for the broader audience, and that might not be required. So that's part of the fatigue, is to get very clear on that. So
My fatigue is just the fact that why do we have to do more than everybody else? Why can't we not
mhm,
just
I
be,
know.
right? Why do we need 3 degrees, right? Why can't 1 degree not be enough?
Why
Why do
can't
we
we
need
be
to
here?
have, you know, I don't know, whatever track record, and still people will say no.
Oh yes, yes. I've had to mentally survive that because I've been in work situations like that where my 2 degrees all of a sudden matched a person where they're 1 degree and we're on the same level doing the same thing.
And
I
getting
just,
less pay.
uh-huh. I had to put my eyes somewhere else, which I'm entrepreneurial anyway. And that is not just a goal and a standard I'm trying to reach, it's also survival as
Mm,
well, mentally, for me, if I could be honest.
I feel you.
So my next question is, there's a difference between being seen and being recognized.
Mm,
Recognition implies that you bring value.
mm.
Do you think the narrative around personal branding in general talks enough about that distinction between being seen and being recognized?
Hmm. I don't think so. I think, or at least a lot of, well, I think recognition can play into branding, but branding is very much tied to visibility. It's tied to perception. How do people perceive your brand? How do people
Right.
feel about your brand? And whether that's a personal brand, as a career focused individual, as a solo entrepreneur, as a creator, or as a founder of a company, whatever, or if you have a company that, it doesn't bear your name, but how do people feel about your company, the services you provide, whatever, da, da, da. How do they perceive you when they say, your name or your company's name? When you say X, that's my reaction. I'm like, right? That's my perception of the band. Other people, you'll say X, greatest thing since sliced bread, right?
Absolutely.
And which goes back to your audience. But yeah, it's more so, branding is more so about that visibility, but getting recognized. Recognition is kind of like, hey, you are a journalist and now you're an award-winning journalist because you won the Peabody Award for whatever, da, 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 or the Woodruff Award for yada yada yada. Or you're a best-selling author or whatever, or you're getting accolades for the work, the actual work that you do, or have done. And that can feed into the brand, right? That can feed into the authority, the perceived authority, that, hey, if this other institution is, sorry, recognizing you for your work and for your contribution, you must be okay, right? It's that third party validation that's very important, right? It's
Mhm.
that, hey, I've been featured on Fox News, and I've been featured on, ABC News, and I've been featured on, Forbes, 40 under 40 or whatever, what have you. Um, those recognitions are great. Anytime you can get them, by all means, go ahead and get them. Because they add into the visibility. So the thing is that when people are encountering you as an individual or your company, if their first encounter is a social media post, something in a trade article, or you're being spoken about on the news, this could be the first time encountering you. Having awards and recognition is a shorthand. It's a shortcut. Award winning, if a journalist on TV is doing a segment, and award winning, children's author, uh, blah, 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 did X, Y, and Z. Like starting with that accolade, it automatically elevates that person in the mind of the hearer or the listener. So, if you can get them. It helps. It doesn't hurt. But I think the branding is very, very much about, what are the visual and the shorthand that people get and react to about your brand before they even, and those are things that help them decide whether they even want to dive deeper into your brand or not. If your brand is for them or not. Not Dr. Cheyenne's brand is not for me. X, Twitter, Meta, not for me. YouTube for me, right? LinkedIn for me, okay, right? I don't have the ick factor about those brands, and so I want to participate with those brands.
The ick factor.
The ick factor.
The ick factor. I think that is very important to recognize. Does your brand, most importantly, does your brand bring the ick for the audience you're trying to attract? Because if so, that is problematic.
You don't have an audience. Exactly. You don't have an audience. You don't have a brand.
You build them up. So my last question for you is, what does it look like to build authority on your own terms when traditional systems were not built to recognize you?
Building authority on your own terms means you are going to lay every brick by brick, probably on your own, or with a very small skeleton crew. It's probably going to take you some time to do. Whenever you build something outside of the systems, and I almost feel like Black women in particular have to build outside of the systems, or they have to build something in parallel with the system, because they never know when the system is going to work against them.
So, right. So it's having a backup. Yep. Having a backup. Yes, I can attest to that personally. Well, excellent. This was a great conversation. And we started with our good sis, not Dr. Cheyenne.
Not Dr. Cheyenne.
As an example of what happens when you don't care for your brand and when you don't mind the expertise that you're selling. And
when you lie. Okay, you being nice. When you lie. Or you bend the truth, it will be found out. Oh my goodness. Come on now.
I mean, the internet is undefeated.
The internet is going to internet. Okay. Especially the bigger that you get, right? Oh my God. It's kind of like, people who run for political office. You were a private person. Nobody was really paying attention to you, but now you're going on a bigger stage. People are going to be more scrutinous. So absolutely. Just be sure that anything that is on the internet about you or anything that has ever happened, clean up your house before you get bigger. Because here's the thing. One of my favorite creators that I like to follow is Kev on Stage. He is one of the least problematic people I have ever come across in internetdom. I've been following him for solidly, I'd say since about 2017, 2018, solidly, consistently. So I've really seen his trajectory. And when people go off on him for something, like they'll take one little itty bitty thing and just, go off. And I'm not really swayed, because I'm like, I've been following him for so long. I know his mindset. I know his intentions as best I can know them, from one side of the screen.
Course. Right.
But he's not a person who is, just, trying to be duplicitous to anyone. If anything, if you know his trajectory, you know how he has helped other people in his circle and and he may say something that you may disagree with, and that's fine. That's fair. I don't agree everything that comes out of his mouth, but it's like the bigger that they get, the bigger you get, even if you're an unproblematic person, please make sure your house is clean. Because the only thing that I could see people say is either Kev's not funny, I didn't agree with his theology on, his stance about gay people and being a Christian and right? Like, these are things that can be argued. These are opinions, right? We all have noses. Pendants are like noses. We all have one. No
Yeah.
problem. But don't leave room for people to come for you for something that is true that's going to put you in a bad light. Like, I have 6 degrees, I have 2 doctorates. You can't prove none.
And then you lie and say
We
that
gonna
I
find that
finished it.
out. We gonna
When
find that
all
out.
these themselves tweeted.
So,
They don't even exist anymore. They was like, oh,
I'm not sure that that was a real quote, because I was trying to find. I was like, okay, I think somebody was playing around with AI, but at the end of the day, she herself told on herself in that Breakfast Club interview. I found everything in the portal except up until my doctorate, because you ain't put nothing for them to have in the portal for your doctorate. Because if it was in there, it'd be in there, right?
it will be
So
in there.
the thing is, as you build, as you grow, just make sure your house is clean. Make sure that everything that you put out, you can stand by, because you're not going to be able to. And I say this to myself too. Like right now, I can't really imagine it, but it could happen, right? I can get to a place where I'm more popular than I thought that I would be, and people, and even if it's not even that millions of people, it could be just thousands of people. If people start coming after you, let them come after you about something that's debatable, not something
Right.
that is actually true. So that would be my only thing. In your building your authority, just build it right. Be truthful, be honest, be as kind to people as you can, as much as you can repair any broken relationships. Do your best to repair those relationships, because folks like to come out and expose you. So just clean your house as best you can, child, and then do
Clean
your
your
best.
house
Clean your house and do the best you can. That's it. That's all.
and do the best you can.
Do the
Okay.
best you
I love
can.
it. I love it. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. We are going to be doing more of this, so it won't be so long of a stretch. But sometimes you need that space in order to build momentum and have these wonderfully rich conversations. So, my good sis,
Thank you so
Miss
much for
Denise
having
Renee,
me.
thank you, thank you, thank you, and
Thank you.
we will be doing this again soon. So, stay tuned. Also, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, honey. YouTube at Writing with Denise Renee is my handle. My website, writingwithdeniserenee.com, and on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/n/, writing with Denise Renee. That is it. That's all.
Beautiful. Thank you. Until
Thank
next
you.
time.
Bye.
Bye.